If you're anything like me, then at some point you've come across a video on YouTube telling you that you need to decide what your niche is. But here are two big problems that you're going to face as soon as you do that. Number one, you're going to feel like you're boxing yourself in. And number two, you're not going to stay consistent in the content because you're boxing yourself in. And if you're not consistent, then it doesn't matter what niche you're picking, you've already failed. What's up, everybody? My name is Michael. I'm a first generation Lebanese American who dropped out of college at the ripe age of 21 and decided to pursue a full-time career in photography and videography. Over the span of 8 years, I learned a lot about making content, helping people build their brands. I even learned how to run paid ads. I ran a whole agency. I still have my own photography and videography business. And now I'm creating a YouTube channel offering everything I've learned over the past 8 years about creating content, building a one-person business, and just living sustainably, happily, and mindfully. So I want to share with you a new way of thinking about niche. For me, a niche is simply this. It's an extension of my own consciousness. It's all of my interest, all of my thoughts, all of my perception, just shared into pieces of content, into video form. It's like taking the cloud of consciousness in my brain or wherever it exists and just putting it into content. And people relate with that. They pick up on the energy from that. They identify with it. It helps them grow into a direction that they're interested in growing in. A big mistake I made early on when deciding what my niche is I kept boxing myself in. I was like, well, I do photography and videography full time, so maybe I should just make tutorials. But when I started making tutorials, sure, I was getting views, and the most popular video on this channel at this moment is about optimizing camera settings. And like I got 40 something K views on it, but the thing is, I didn't enjoy it. Like I don't enjoy teaching those things. It just makes me yawn and it just feels like another job. But this job, I wasn't making any money. So I was like, well, why the hell would I do that? When I stopped trying to decide what my niche is, I had the space inside of my own mind to just understand what I actually wanted to talk about. When I stopped trying to optimize YouTube or beat the algorithm, and I just started to listen to myself and understand what I actually want to talk about and what I want to share with the world, I naturally started finding my niche. At this moment, it's taking the shape of building one-person businesses, self-development, mixed in with a mindful approach. And that's really how I started to discover my niche. I realized in myself that I always talk to people about building their one-person businesses. It's just very interesting to me. It's just crazy to me that someone can make money selling their skill set to other people. It's just nuts, and it changed my life. Self-development and like spirituality with a mindful approach. So I spent 10 years of my life going on to like meditation retreats, studying Advaita, meditating, doing yoga, learning about my own consciousness, learning about my own mind. Like this is part of my identity of who I am, right? And naturally, it's just like part of me. So everything I talk about, I want that to be integrated in the background somewhere. So you bundle that all together and it starts to define what my niche is. Which brings me back to that statement that we always hear on YouTube from people like Dan Coe, you are the niche. So if I can offer you one piece of advice, it would be this. Stop trying to decide what your niche is. Instead, try to understand what gives you leverage over other people. So in my case, it was these 8 years of doing photography and videography for other people, running this one-person business, helping people create content, and then at the same time studying all this spirituality stuff, working on self-development, becoming a more wholesome person, so on and so forth. So I combine that all together and that starts to define what my niche is. So let's say you're somebody who grew up on a farm and you love farming and gardening. That could just be something that is always going to talk, you're always going to talk about. You can help people optimize on that, but it doesn't really have to be anything like specific. So I remember hearing a YouTube video a long time ago of somebody telling me the same thing. Well, you need to leverage your skills. But at the time I didn't have any skills because I was just starting out in photography and videography. And my advice to somebody who feels like they don't have any skills, which I almost guarantee you do, there is something you're naturally good at. You're just not aware of it because it's so obvious to you, but it's not obvious to a lot of people. But anyways, if you still feel like, well, I don't have those skills, then my advice is this: stop trying to teach things and just start to document yourself learning, document yourself growing. And that's what I try to do a little bit on this channel, right? I'm almost breaking that, what do they call it? Like the third box or whatever. I'm breaking the matrix wall. I don't know what the hell you call it. The fifth wall. I forgot what it is, but I'm breaking that fifth wall. Now you get to see me grow this channel while in the background, like I'm sharing with you deep insights about how I'm approaching YouTube. And it's pretty cool, right? And I feel like that's what builds community. That's what's going to make us friends. And then you'll be able to share things with me in the comments. Like if you feel like commenting where you're at with this process, that would be sweet. And then I get to share things with you that I'm learning, right? And none of this is like any set guidance or rules. It's just things that we're learning along the way. Before I leave you, I want you to start to ask yourself a few different questions here. One, what are you naturally good at? Two, and this is the most important question, do you enjoy talking about it? Is it something that you could wake up and talk about every single day for 5 years, even if no one listened? And that's the question I had to ask myself. Like, could I talk about building a one-person business for 5 years without nobody listening? Could I talk about content? Could I talk about being more mindful and living more intentionally? And the answer was yes, because I talk about this stuff every single day to my friends, right? So naturally, I could talk about it on YouTube all the time. And that's kind of how I'm approaching niche, and that's how I understand niche. And you might be completely different. And I want you to do this. I want you to click on that link in the description and join my weekly newsletter where I send out notes just about this. And it can be like a little first step for yourself to commit to your journey, and we can do this together.